the legal strategy for protecting yourself and ministry. So I'll be speaking on a topic completely, legal strategy for protecting yourself and ministry. Well, let me put it this way, legal strategy for protecting yourself, business, ministry in 24th century. So in church administrations or in business, it is vital to understand that administration is a process of growing the church, not organizing or coordinating. Because before now, when we talk about administrations, people tend to talk about more of organizing or coordinating. That is why I remember we were in a meeting on Thursday. Somebody was saying their time you put the whole structure in place, the whole system, the whole organizing, the whole coordinating in place, yet the church or the business do not do. And I have a privilege to speak for like 2-3 minutes, and I said that growth is a function of leadership. Growth is a function of leadership. Even if I try to establish that it is not all the churches on earth will be 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 before Christ return, because many of their assignment is not in that line. It is unfortunate that people doesn't understand that. And I also made use of Pastor Tony Akinyemi that I talked about earlier on. I knew that man for a while, and for me, I thought the church is that 5,000, 3,000, but indeed it is not. But the man is making impact across Nigeria and beyond Nigeria. So it is not all of us that we have that number, but all of us can make impact, tremendous impact, tremendous impact, beyond what you cannot even imagine. I was sharing with somebody, maybe today or some days ago, how I gave my legal strategy for protecting yourself and ministry to the pastor who have been with Pastor Sam Ali for almost 16 years before he went. The man just called me while I was here now. And he called me in the evening. He said, I can't drop that book until I got home. He said, I can't drop it. He said, and that's what actually caught the heart of the lawyers. When they pick the book, they begin to wonder, you say you are not a lawyer. In what context? How come it could be this way?
Yeah, we sleep all this way, just with them. Apology.
So, we can all make tremendous impact. To deliver a good church administration or a good business management or an NGO, there are 3 things that must be in place. Just 3 things. Just 3 things that we must put in place. First is leadership. If you want to protect yourself as a leader, if you want to protect yourself as a business leader, if you want to protect yourself as a pastor, there are 3 things you must put in place in your ministry. First is leadership. First is leadership. Have you been in the field of leadership for a while? shared it earlier, that I've carved out for myself. As a result of having this understanding, I've come to realize that there is a little discrepancy or some lapses in the definitions of leadership we have been carrying around. I now decided to carve out a leadership definition for myself. Please, I'm going to appreciate somebody doing this message. I'm overwhelmed seeing him. Amen. I graduated from secondary school, and in recent time they created a group. And when they did, I was like, wow. I have been seeing it since I was born, having old schools associations, but I have not the privilege to be one of all just created it. And I was added, and the rest have been discussing how we have been making serious impact. In a short while, not more than a month, but making a very great impact. Here I have with me one of my classmates. I just saw him, and I believe he's a delegate from that group. Amen. Please help me welcome Mr. Oliade. Hallelujah. So, like I said, that definition is my philosophy. I want us to take it home. There are thousands of followers. Leadership is not about commanding the whole Nigeria to follow you on social media. That leadership is knowing the right thing, ethical principle, ethical value, doing the right thing, and teaching others the right thing. Funny enough, if you buy the it, you will not find it in it. For some process, it was waiting, or it may be there. Maybe I don't know, I can't really know all I put inside. But that is my philosophical definitions of leadership. So leadership is a process and act of knowing the right thing, doing the right thing, and teaching others the right thing. I mean the ethical principle, the value. And you know that is it secular what I put it now, or the other people that are trying to put this word, put it in chaos, understand this thing. The bad they know, they begin to do it, and they begin to teach others. They begin to perpetuate their philosophy, and that is what we have to stand up to do. We should begin to think about impact. I was preaching in Ikotu yesterday night, and I told them that there is no difference between being a Christian and being a business person. If you are a Christian, you are a business or a company is just a platform created by God to administer wealth, create wealth, manage wealth, and multiply the wealth among his people or among people for his purpose. So as a Christian, there is not I'm a business person. As a business person, as a Christianpreneur, you are to perpetuate through your business or through your platform ethical principles. So that when I have a conversation with my friends who are calling from far and near, and they said, and some people want to scam them, I tell them, I'm a pastor. I don't want to say because my father is in the house what I used to tell them. I will tell them I'm a reverend. I said, I'm a reverend. And you are telling me I'm going to act, I'm a reverend. He said, I'm a reverend. Who is coming? I'm a reverend. So if I tell you I'm a reverend, I'm telling you that I have ethical, I have ethical principles. So that is leadership. Now, let me move because of time. there will be micromanaging and difficulty for delegation of authority, for proper structure, for job starting the growth you are expecting. If you actually want to experience growth in ministry, and I think I said it 2 days ago, the growth of some of us is as a result of our leadership capacity. It may not be the totality of truth because there are thousands of things that bring about church growth. But one of the major reasons for growth in any organizations is leadership. I just told you now that I'm not the one that authored this book, my staff do. But I actually apply what we call strategic leadership by forgetting about the kind of mistakes. There are many lot of mistakes, so that I threaten them. I will remove it from the salary. I call one of my staff one that says, am I a leader? After I taught this, I little bit hard because I'm a leader. I live with empathy. I want you to feel the heat, to understand the process, but you turn to live with empathy. Let you understand why things should be done right.
Absolutely.
So how do you protect we're talking about legal protection. How do you protect yourself through leadership? How do you do that? That's why I bring this. There are two major compartments of leadership. Because of that, I already write it down. Two major compartments of leadership is character and competency. Many a time in our organization or in church, and that is why we have a lot of problems in church. Do you know why? It's not even because we ordain people early. No. But because we want to ordain those people, this is what we are saying. Competency. As a business, competency brings about result. A very dramatic result in a very short while. It brings about multiplication of results. But it doesn't sustain leadership. That is why the kind of leader we have in Nigeria run on this compartment. These two legs of leadership must be in place if you are going to protect yourself, your business, and your ministry. What competence build, character we protect. Because what protect the competence here is on integrity. Have you heard when people say that person is good, but he's a crook? We don't want to deal with a crook. As time goes by, you begin to drop him. You were making use of him because he's the only option available at that time. So what we must, if you are going to last, if you are going to be in same haven as a church, as an organization, we must put these two things in place. Now, maybe you'll be thinking, what is this I say? Visionary thinking, strategic planning, delegation, problem solving skill. This is what brings about results. This is what you used to see. When you wanted to bring somebody into the leadership position, he has capacity to be able to solve problems. He has capacity. He's an orator. Have you also noticed something that most people that influence people were not the most, they are not the best communicators.
Yes.
Robinson is one of the leading force in America. That guy speaks bad grammar like me. But what actually makes people listen to them is this. So no matter how technical expertise you have, if you are going to last on a stage, if you are going to last as a church, you should begin to have this to protect your leadership. Now, we discovered years ago that this is what organizations see in church, that they send letters for employment.
Yes.
Yes.
But this is what church is left with.
Thank you.
It's difficult to get a problem if you don't have anybody in church. That if you don't have anybody maybe on top or in government. But those years we had and we learned that there is always a letter every Sunday. Pastor will read a letter sent from bank, from companies looking for. Why? Because they knew that if that sister become an accountant in that company, there's going to be protections of their money.
Wow.
So what I'm saying in essence is that if you are going to protect your leadership, if you are going to protect your ministry, like they have shared, this is what makes you to comply. Not because you cannot stop not to comply, but this is what makes you to comply to laws. This is what makes you to comply to law. This is what makes you to document things. It is funny if you look at as September, you will see churches in US. Come this way, sir. You will see churches in US as of September having reports, end of year report of how money was spent. Then we can't have that. I'm not saying we should be accountable to the world, but can I tell you can actually multiply church resources when accountability is being visible to people that give resources. And I told people, I said, I don't usually teach theory. I don't teach what is the book. Some people taught me that I read book I'm teaching. I teach most things that I've done with people and I've seen the result. I've counseled a 65 years pastor before who have been in this before I was born. And he called me. He said, wait, who taught you? I said, I don't even know. I said, I learned it and there are things that when you put in place, things begin to work. That is two compartments of leadership that we must learn and begin to run with. So, in protecting yourself and ministry or NGO, you must understand the place of proper leadership. For instance, like I said, there are two major compartments of leadership, or two legs, I call it. They are competency and character. They are very important that we have looked at it. The next thing I told you is just three things. The next thing is law. The next thing is law. There are thousands of laws that church organizations should comply with. I will even say some today that I believe many of us after believe they will do it. We have been seeing some of those things from wrong perspective and come to understand some of these things. I tell you, I'm going to do them in a serious way. Law. Anywhere you find peace, anywhere you find progress and prosperity, you will find a workable law or rules and regulations. Anywhere you find peace, progress, you will find workable rules and regulations. As we were coming early this morning, I was listening to how military people beat somebody because the person did not allow them to move before them, whereas they are the back of the person. And that is the society we find ourselves. So therefore, in 21st century church, administrations, church administration, you must comply with government rules and regulations that govern the activity of what we do. He has made mention of few of those things. I'm going to read two of them because they are in these books. They are in this book. If you wanted to take this course, it's a course of about 7 to 8 hours that will be taking each one after the other. So he talks about the operations of ministry, and he says something that many of us were surprised of. It's not compulsory to register your ministry. It is not. There is no law. There is no law that said church or NGOs should be registered. And I'm telling you that the first time, there is no law that says so. And you have right to gather. The freedom of gathering, freedom of associations. But you will be doing yourself the service of so many benefits of registration, like as make mentions. Sometimes we may think Nigeria is not working, which indeed is not working to some certain level, but it is not also working to the level of the information that is available to us.
Yes, absolutely.
I was in somewhere about 5-7 years ago. As soon as my mother is educated, and I have an opportunity, or even if I am not educated, I have an opportunity to be around her every time. My mother will be in multi-millionaire. Do you know why? There are thousands of money that is sitting in CBN, that is for women that nobody is making use of. And these crooked politicians were not making use of it, taking it off. Some of the money they say they are distributing to people, they are money meant for women to do business. I learned that when I was doing financial inclusions, and the outside guy was discussing it with us, and was like, and these are most times this guy take advantage of it and make use of it over there. So that's why I tell you that Nigeria is not working to the level of the information that is available to us. So, pay your annual return, like I said. They have even the new government now has. They are beginning to register church. They are beginning to register church. After 10 years, and you did not pay your annual return, it is called strike off. You check your name, you still be on their system, but it will be written strike off. And at that time, you are in risk, a serious risk. All you are doing in the name of that organization is illegal. Buying land, buying property, is that name doesn't have capacity to buy property. I was with a pastor in the country some months ago, and he bought the property in the name that he has not registered. And he's now looking for me to register that name by force. And he's not even ready to pay good money for me to help him. Wow. And that property is not owned by anybody. The property someone bought for 50 million is not owned by anybody.
Wow.
If I open my mouth to tell you things I see as important, you'll be wondering. Last week I was supposed to pay me over 500,000 naira to include somebody's name to a company that government awarded some land to, that the people who own the company did not know. So somebody who have the access, the information, want to include their name to the company. To the company so that they can take advantage of the property. And even before the person bring the case, they have been fighting over it for like a month. That guy will not do it. The guy finally called me, he said, there's this thing, I don't know how to discuss it with you. I said, talk now. And the guy starts saying, I can't do that. And such a case is, you will see people approaching you to backdate registration. Do you know why? Because they are going to buy property in the name of the or a property in the name of a unregistered company or registered church. And at that time, it does not have capacity. Even though there's something that can be done about it in legal system, and you can go to that, not me. But something can be done about that. There's a way you call it. That tells you, brother, I'm good. I'm what I can do. I know something can be done about it. So there's a way to do it. Amen. Like I said, comply to tax policy. I wanted to dwell on this before the next person come up. Comply to tax policy. Church, listen to me, or NGO. issues on ground now. You were not, government is not telling you to pay tax, but they are telling you to comply. And your record is with them. Not comply, you are going to pay. The couple of the guy I started for last 2 weeks while he was in village doing crusade that he should come to tax office. When he get there, they told him that he has owned about 500,000. And so they told us, they said they are not asking for tax payment, that you have not been complying with tax process and is active already. So tax compliance is just about, like I said, putting your audit system into the system and say we do not pay tax. Yes or no, and the information. Why the company that pay tax doing their own filing. So government can begin to clamp over church in recent time for that reason. And there's nothing you can say. You go to court and the court will tell the lawyer will advise you to go and settle out of court. So that you should not drag out that Bible says that you should not take it through a long journey. So we must learn to comply. Comply with our fire service regulations. Like our church here as we are here, there is no fire extinguisher. They are offense. These laws are active. Do you know why we don't know that laws are active? It's because the corporate have not come to us. We were not caught. That is why we don't know that they are active.
Until there's a situation.
Yes, that require that process. That's what we don't know.
That there's a law.
There is a law.
And guidelines. Absolutely.
Ordinarily, as the church is now, if you have a place to park car, we're supposed to have in that place car parked at owner's risk. Not doing that, the church can be responsible for the somebody car that lost. These are it may seem as if it's simple, but it is not simple. That is why when you get to big ministry like Samadi, when you are parked, they can even joke tell your car is parked at owner risk. Because those things happen there. In abroad, you must put mind the glass, mind the step. If somebody fall and it's in your vicinity, the law says you must take care of that person. So if the person fall and he has stroke, the family can sue you and you will be responsible for it. So I'm not a lawyer. Don't let me threaten you. I'm not doing that. These are the people that are threatening people. I'm a pastor. So another thing that is very common among pastors is data privacy laws. Data privacy law. Somebody share issue with you, and you come on pulpit, you think you are preaching, you are sharing it. You are like this new comedian. You are prison, not pastor Eliso. When somebody come, pastor, I have done wrong, and I'm HIV positive, and it's kept in your custody. You came, you even describe the person, and maybe one bad person is with the person or the guy. He now said, sue that pastor, this is the law that battles. And they can, do you know Satan, they can start making money through you.
Yes.
When they threaten you and you now discover what they are saying is right, I say, what can I do? They say, pay me 1 million more. You pay. Tomorrow you begin to pay. This is how they do some of these scandals you see. And it happened. And I know that when I pay that money, he can come back and say, the pastor raped me. Or raped her. And he say, after he raped me, now you have been crying me. You see the evidence.
Wow, Jesus.
These there's a way I approach ministry now, there's a way I do things now. That's why you see these people, when you give them document to sign, they don't sign them. I have a lawyer who says, shine. They don't sign. They will carry that document home and go and read it at their pleasure and begin to interpret every word before they sign.
Yes.
to teach at the senior college like that. I wanted to give agreements to him to sign. He said, okay, I'm not the sign. I know they tell me that for a long time. I thought it's a joke. He said, I'm not the sign. And they said, okay, read it. Until he read document of about 7 pages from word to word before he signed. I must be ready to do some of these things. I'm not saying this thing because I believe all of us that are here, this is not our destination. We are global people. We are, some of us, we still have opportunity to travel out to go and do this for 2, 3, 4, 5 years in an organized environment, so that we will not run into problems. We will not run into problems. So, lastly, we under this is finance. There is a difference between you and the church. There is total difference between you and the church. You know, I'm a pastor. I understand your pain. This program that is here now, sir, that we are men here, has run into some millionaire. Are you get what I'm saying? So I understand the reasons why many of us, after we begin to pastor, after we begin to do ministry, and we felt we have invest so much so that we can easily dip our hand into our church work. And now I told you earlier, what I'm discussing with you is not about pastors alone. It's not about church. I can't spend the money of stewardship consulting anyhow. Do you know the little 7th grade that we have? It's because most of the people we lead, they are not curious people. Don't let me say they are not wise. They are not curious. They are wise because I can't be under a congregation and you are telling me I'm not wise. They are not curious. They are not. Some of them, they so much believe in you. That is why they could not be able to begin to explain. Some of them know some of these things. That is why they are not asking you some questions they're supposed to ask. Let me say this. If A and B church close down, as a pastor or as a special NGO, you are not authorized to sell the property. Doing that, and the person is close. We are not in a working environment. That's why we are doing it. Somebody just sell. They have a big church and the church closed down. They have a mighty structure. The pastor just go there and sell it for 150 million naira and fly abroad, enjoy his life, start a new lifestyle. If you try that, what do you think the reason why a church in abroad was given to Salvation Ministry? The ministry that worth billion. And when they wanted to give that ministry out, they said they should bring, they did agreement, a transfer, and the money given out is ridiculous. In exchange of that, maybe that money is to clear some debt the church owed before now. You don't sell church property or NGO property, and if you are going to sell it, there is an agreement that the church is selling it for this purpose, for this purpose. I'm not a lawyer before you arrest me. So you can protect yourself and ministry. Lastly, I want to encourage, I have my 2 fathers here who has been, today I'm supposed to be giving them an award, but 1 or 2 things happen. Who has, I don't even know how to describe it. Because of them purposely, this is a new knowledge that I've been in a season for a long time. I want to share it with you. You can do a ministry in ease in this environment or crook environment through insurance. Let them to insure all all the church property, even speakers, all of these things. When somebody enters church and pick it, just go and sleep. And call the insurance company, they buy a good one and put it in.
Okay. Thank you.
Forget, open the door, let them carry the generator of 1.2 million naira. And as far as you are servicing that insurance, and you just call them, and where is the evidence? They go somewhere, and the picture is taken, sent to them, everything can be put in place. With this ministry, these are the secret of the. I'm getting some of this through knowledge of book and being with some top pastors that I will have the opportunity to be as a consultant, not as a pastor. Because as a consultant, I have the opportunity to be with them and few of those things we discuss. Lastly, the system you protect. I'm speaking about legal strategy for protecting your business, yourself, business, ministry, 24/7. And I've spoke about leadership, and I've spoke about law, and I want to speak about system. System. You become successful already to multiply your result when people can do what you do. When people can do what you do in your absence. I think someone said that earlier. That is what make our result visible. That is what make. It is not easy with church, but you can begin to put structure in place to make this thing happen. It is time we should begin to also work in trying to pay some. It is not satanic, it is not a bad system. We begin to pay some certain people or administrators to run church. And I was speaking yesterday in court, and I said, until you have I wonder how I'm going to pay her salary. But I will pay since then. I employ another person. When I was employed the second person, I was wondering how I'm going to pay. But I will pay. I employ another person. I think I'm going to pay. I have been paid. I just employed another person 2 days ago, thinking because the salary is a little bit good, how I'm going to pay. But there's a way I have been paid, and I'm going to pay. Why did I say that? Many times we think as a church that we're not able to pay this, but there is a way we experience shift in our mind that when we put these people in place to do ministry for us, we begin to pay them. You also demand that for God. You are running ministry with faith. You can also run their payment with faith and it will come. So this is going to help you to multiply your job, and you are going to have growth and protect yourself in ministry. So building the right team to do the work of ministry as Bible commanded us in Ephesians. For church, creating workable structure, functioning department. In some churches, the only department that is working is chorister and sanctuary department. That is the only department that is working. You know, we must sing, and that must work. We must clean the church, that must work. But every other department, finance department, is not working. I will refer to them because I've been in their system for a while, go there, listen to them. Some of them will tell us anytime I'm in their conference and some of their courses that for some years now doesn't even know the amount of money they start own. Because they start. Don't be thinking they start is a church. Let me use that word. They start have PhD. Not PhD honorarium or honoris causa, PhD as the acquire master, PhD holder as the head of finance department, PhD holder as head. Sometimes not for voluntary service, they are paying staff. And many of us are demanding for growth. Growth is not cheap. They pay some of these people heavily. They pay them as they have increased minimum wage now. They also increase their minimum wage. And you now think somebody pay finance department and he's collecting maybe 250,000 or 300,000 and he knew that church is going to pay salary. If he didn't see the money, they are not going to pay salary. He's not going to sit down and bring a plan where money will be coming in. If he cannot bring money in, he's sacking. Let go and look for job in bank. He will be sick. So some of our churches, the only department that is working is choristry. Every other department, pay as you go. Pay as you go. And I understand that we have limited resources. I'm a pastor. I'm not here to just say something bad about church. That's what I'm saying. But I'm telling us how we can move into the next phase of our ministry through leadership and administration. Where is your human resources department? Where is your finance department? Where is your legal department? Where is your legal department? Where is your social responsibility department? Do you know why many of us, the pastor, have not had legal issues? Because we are not physical. Yes. When you see that they arrest somebody, they accuse somebody of rape, all of these things, some of us think it cannot happen to us. It cannot happen to us because we are not physical. Some of us say a lot of things to government that if we are physical, one day they will say, come and spare that church. We need to track that guy. Yes. They were not physical, that is why we just say a lot of other things and we get to it. Therefore, we must have a lawyer as a friend if we cannot pay the bills. It is an advice everyone who is 40 years old must take. You must have a lawyer as a friend if you cannot pay for it. Thank God for my cousin. Anyone who wanted to mess up with me now.
My brother is a lawyer.
So we must learn to do this. You know, this is a counsel. It's a counsel. As a business leader, you need 3 major departments. As a small business, you need 3 major departments to grow your business. No matter how small that, before I started employing my staff to have them in place, my executive team will have about 4 or 5 drawers. In that executive table, I have my finance department, my human resources, and all of this. I put them in different files and I put them in different positions. So when I wanted to consult the human resources department, I print out the file and I consult. So no matter how small you are, you must have these 3 departments. This is your marketing and sales department, your finance, and your operations. I'm speaking to business people, you are a business people in the house. It must be in place. And that marketing department in church is evangelism department. If you don't have this